You know that feeling. You're watching TV, scrolling, maybe driving, and suddenly you realize you've finished a whole bag of chips or your entire lunch.
Uh-huh. Like you barely tasted it.
Exactly. Or you hang up the phone and think, wait, what did we even talk about? That sort of autopilot thing, it happens with food way more often than we probably think.
Absolutely. Going through the motions.
So today we're doing a deep dive into something called mindful eating.
Mm.
And it sounds simple, maybe, but it seems like it's about much more than just the food itself. It's about being truly present with our meals.
It really is. And we've looked at quite a range of sources for this Canada's Food Guide. Insights from a pediatrician at a Midwestern university, the British Dietetic Association, helpguide.org, Harvard's nutrition source, too.
Wow. Okay. A broad look then.
Yeah, the goal is really to unpack what mindful eating actually is, why it matters, and, the big question, how can you actually do it in a busy life?
Okay, let's get into it. Sounds like it could really change how we relate to our plates.
Yeah.
One conscious bite at a time, maybe?
That's the idea.
So mindfulness itself, most people have probably heard of it. It's ancient, right? From Buddhist meditation.
That's right. Centuries old.
And it's about being fully aware. Thoughts, feelings, what's happening physically right now in the present moment.
Exactly. And crucially, without judgment, just observing, not immediately reacting.
Okay. So how does that apply to, well, eating lunch?
Well, you take that exact same awareness, that present moment, non-judgmental focus, and you bring it to the whole experience of eating.
The whole thing.
Yeah. Being aware of your cravings, noticing the physical signals from your body, how the food actually makes you feel before you eat, while you're eating, even afterwards. It means consciously focusing on how you eat, why you're eating, like, are you actually hungry, what you're eating, when and where you eat, and importantly, how much. It's looking at the whole picture.
So it's pretty much the polar opposite of what some sources call mindless eating.
Exactly.
Grabbing food while you're working or in the car watching TV. Often just out of habit or stress, not real hunger.
That's it, precisely. And it's really important to stress, mindful eating isn't another strict diet. It's not about rigid rules or counting every calorie or, achieving perfection.
Right.
It's more about cultivating this inner awareness, an awareness that lets you make more intentional choices and really connect with your food and yourself.
Okay, I get the concept, but it sounds like work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of focus needed. So why should people care? What are the actual, maybe surprising benefits of doing this?
Well, the benefits are pretty profound, actually, and maybe not always what you'd expect. First off, it helps you build a healthier, more appreciative relationship with food.
Appreciative. How so?
By really paying attention, you start to genuinely savor things. The aromas, the textures, the different flavors. It turns eating from just, refueling into a much more enjoyable, even pleasurable experience.
Okay, more enjoyment. That's good. But I've also heard it might help with understanding hunger, like knowing when you're actually full.
Absolutely. That's a huge benefit. Reconnecting with your body's natural hunger and fullness signals.
How does that work?
Well, think about it. When you eat really quickly, it actually takes about 20 minutes for your brain to get the message that you're full.
20 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, because of hormones like leptin, the fullness signal, needing time to travel and register. So eating mindfully, slowing down, it gives your body that time.
Oh.
It helps you avoid accidentally overeating and helps you recognize when you're comfortably satisfied. Maybe like 80% full instead of feeling stuffed.
Which brings up something important. Lots of us eat when we're not really hungry, right? Like stressed or bored.
Emotional eating.
Yeah. Can mindful eating help with that?
Yes, it's actually particularly effective for things like emotional eating and even binge eating patterns.
Really? Wow.
By becoming more aware of your thoughts and feelings around eating, you learn to tell the difference between physical hunger.
Which feels like.
Well, it usually builds gradually. You might feel it in your stomach.
Yeah.
And lots of different foods could satisfy it. Versus emotional hunger, which often hits suddenly, feels really urgent and usually craves specific comfort foods.
Yeah.
You know, chocolate, chips.
Oh, I know. So noticing the difference gives you some control.
Exactly. That awareness gives you a pause, a moment to manage the impulse rather than just reacting automatically. It can really help reduce how often those episodes happen and how intense they are. It fosters self-control.
So it's not just about the single meal. It's about better choices overall, establishing healthier patterns.
Precisely. It encourages healthier food choices naturally because you start noticing how different foods affect you, your energy, your mood, your digestion.
That makes sense.
Plus, it can really dial down the stress and anxiety some people feel around food and meals, especially if they've done a lot of dieting. And it can even foster this deeper connection to where food comes from, appreciating the whole process. It boosts well-being.
Okay, the benefits sound great. Really compelling. But back to the practical side. In our super busy lives, how do we actually do this? What are some real concrete steps?
Right. It definitely takes practice, like any skill. But the good news is, many strategies are simple and pretty powerful. We can break it down. Let's start with creating the right environment.
Environment, like dim the lights.
Huh. Well, maybe. But more like making the healthy choice the easy choice. So, try to eat in a specific place meant for eating, a dining table, the break room.
Not at your desk or on the sofa.
Ideally, no. Focus just on eating. And planning ahead can help too. Thinking about eating at regular times, maybe planning meals or snacks for the week. It helps manage hunger and can lead to better choices.
Okay, setting the stage. Makes sense. What about when the food's actually there in front of you?
Right. Then it's time to engage all your senses.
All of them.
Yep. Before you even take a bite, just pause. Notice the smell, the colors on the plate, the textures you can see, even the sounds maybe.
Like sizzling or crunching.
Exactly. Then as you eat, pay attention to the flavors unfolding. How the food feels in your mouth. Is it smooth, crunchy, warm, cool? Really connect with the physical experience. And a huge part of this is to slow down and savor. Take smaller bites, chew really thoroughly.
My grandma always said that.
She was onto something. A great tactic is to physically put your fork or spoon down between each mouthful.
Oh, that would definitely slow me down.
It really does. It helps digestion too and gives your body that crucial time to register fullness we talked about. Some foods even kind of force you to slow down.
Like what?
Things like pomegranates, you have to get the seeds out, or edamame in the pod, cherries with pits, nuts still in their shells. They naturally make you more deliberate.
That's clever. Okay, so senses, slowing down. What about what's going on inside our thoughts and feelings?
Great question. That's about listening to your body and mind.
How do you do that?
Before you start eating, ask yourself, am I actually physically hungry? Or maybe I'm just thirsty. Or stressed, bored, sad.
Tuning in first.
Right. And then during the meal, keep checking in gently. How full am I feeling? Am I satisfied? Aim for that comfortable fullness, maybe 80%, not feeling stuffed. Another simple thing, take a few deep breaths before you eat or even during the meal if you feel rushed or stressed. It can really help calm emotional hunger triggers, reduce stress, and just make you feel better.
So that presence, it really relies on fewer distractions, doesn't it?
Absolutely crucial. You have to avoid distractions.
The usual suspects. TV, phone.
Exactly. Turn off the TV. Put the phone away, maybe even in another room. Close the laptop. Give your food and the act of eating your full attention.
What if you have to eat at your desk sometimes?
Even then, try to carve out just a few moments where you only focus on the food. Stop typing, stop reading emails, just for 5 minutes maybe. Anything to get off that automatic pilot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the whole clean your plate thing many of us heard growing up?
Ah, yes. That's a big one. It's time to rethink portion control and those old habits. Well, simple visual cues help. Using smaller plates or bowls can make a normal portion look more satisfying. Smaller serving spoons, too.
Makes sense.
And crucially, it is perfectly okay not to finish everything on your plate. If you feel satisfied, stop. You can save leftovers or just leave those last few bites. No guilt.
Permission to not clean the plate.
Permission granted. Also, try moving the serving dishes off the table once you've served yourself. If they're right there, it's easy to automatically reach for seconds or thirds without really thinking. Out of sight, out of mind.
That's a really practical tip. It really does sound like this whole approach is less about a strict diet and more about, I don't know, a healthier relationship with food overall.
That's exactly it. It's about reframing food's role.
So stop thinking good foods and bad foods.
Yeah, try to move away from labeling. Instead, focus on choosing foods that are nutritious, yes, but also satisfying. Foods that give you energy and make your body feel good. Remember, all kinds of foods can fit into a balanced diet. Another really insightful thing you can do is track your food and feelings. Not calories, but just jot down what you ate and then note how you felt physically and emotionally. Maybe 5 minutes later, an hour later, a few hours later. It creates this powerful connection between your choices and how you actually feel. You start seeing patterns. Oh, when I eat that, I feel sluggish later. Or, wow, this meal really kept me energized.
That sounds really personalized.
It is. And that leads to the last point here. Experiment with combinations. Try different food pairings. Maybe temporarily cut out a certain food you suspect doesn't agree with you, and just observe how your body responds. It's about becoming your own expert, finding what truly works for you.
Okay, this is making a lot of sense. So let's connect some dots. What about different groups? I think I saw something about mindful eating tips for kids.
Yes, that's a really important area. Dr. Nancy Horlick, the pediatrician we looked at, emphasizes starting early habits. Things like nutritious breakfasts with protein and fiber, really prioritizing fruits and veggies, choosing whole grains, lean proteins, drinking water.
The basics, but maybe presented mindfully.
Exactly. And limiting processed foods, plus teaching portion control, often just by using smaller
And I read there's interest in this for teens and kids too. Studies showing it might help with body image issues or binge eating.
There is growing research, yeah. Potential benefits for reduced body shape concerns, less binge eating. But the key insight seems to be that you have to adapt how you present it for younger ages. Make it relevant and appealing, not just another rule.
Right. Now, a big question that always comes up, weight loss. People hear mindful eating. They often think, yeah, will this make me lose weight? What's the reality?
It's a really common association. The research is interesting. Mindful eating isn't consistently shown to be this magic bullet for weight loss on its own.
Oh. Well.
But it's seen as a very powerful complement to weight management programs because it changes the underlying eating behaviors and reduces the stress around food.
So it helps support weight loss efforts, even if it's not the direct cause.
Exactly. And some reviews actually suggest it can be as effective as traditional diet programs for weight loss in the long run. Probably because it addresses the why behind eating, not just the what.
That makes sense. It's more sustainable, maybe.
That seems to be the idea. And what's fascinating is, even in studies where it doesn't lead to major weight loss, It almost always improves the quality of the eating experience. People feel more self-aware, more in control of things like binging or emotional eating.
So it's about well-being, not just the number on the scale. Less mental burden.
Precisely. It helps people get off that diet roller coaster of guilt and restriction. Your body often finds a healthier balance naturally when you're more tuned to its needs, not through deprivation, but through awareness and satisfaction.
Okay, that's a great perspective. Now, one really crucial point. Is this approach right for absolutely everyone?
That is incredibly important to clarify. Thank you for raising it. While it's beneficial for most people looking for a healthier relationship with food, mindful eating is not meant to replace clinical treatment for severe eating disorders.
Like anorexia or bulimia?
Correct. For someone actively struggling with a clinical eating disorder like anorexia or bulimia nervosa, suddenly increasing awareness around eating without the right professional support could actually be harmful.
How so?
Well, for example, in anorexia, it could potentially be used to reinforce or justify further restriction. It requires careful guidance from eating disorders specialists in those contexts.
So it's a supportive strategy for general health, but not a standalone treatment for diagnosed eating disorders.
Exactly. That distinction is vital.
Got it. And just finally, it feels very relevant right now. Some sources mention how these strategies could be helpful during stressful times, like, say, the pandemic.
Yes, definitely. During periods of high stress, things like emotional eating can spike. Our usual cues get thrown off.
Makes sense.
So simple mindful practices like scheduling meal times, taking that pause to check if it's real hunger, or even mindfully savoring a comfort food instead of guiltily inhaling it. These can be really valuable coping tools.
Wow. Okay. So wrapping this up, it feels like mindful eating is, well, genuinely empowering.
Yeah.
It seems to offer a way to really transform how we relate to food.
I think so too.
It's not just about what's on the plate, is it? It's about what's going on in your head, your heart, using all your senses when you eat.
Exactly. It's shifting from that mindless autopilot consumption to a much deeper appreciation, understanding how food really impacts your whole being, physical, mental, emotional.
Becoming your own expert.
That's a great way to put it. Becoming the expert on your own body's unique needs. Cultivating a healthier, more intuitive way of eating.
So for everyone listening, the final thought might be this. Next time you sit down to eat, just consider, what if that meal wasn't only about fuel? What if it was like a mini meditation? A chance to connect just for a few minutes more deeply with yourself and maybe even the world around you through that food? What surprising things might you notice if you truly fully savored that experience?